What's going on out there, Spotlight Faithful? It's your main man, Tommy, on the spot. Thank you so much for downloading today's edition, an even dozen, the edition of the Wrestling Drive. We are here live, I guess, on Monday, August the 1st. Can you believe it's August 1st already? And that means that just in a few weeks, believe it or not, under 3 weeks, we will be preparing and getting ready for WWE Summerslam. It's going to be a heck of a show, and tonight on Raw, I really think things will be kicked into high gear because one, Brock Lesnar will be returning to Raw tonight. If you've watched the USA Network at all, really throughout the entire week they've been promoting his appearance. I mean, the Raw commercials have been aplenty, and they've been promoting his appearance, and rightfully so. He's a big member of that show. It's going to be interesting to see kind of where they go with Brock, because obviously he did fail a couple of different UFC tests, but he is not subject to the WWE's wellness policy. They made that very clear, so there will be no suspension for Brock Lesnar. He will be on SummerSlam, and according to PWInsider.com, he will not be alone tonight. Paul Heyman will be by his side. Paul Heyman was spotted with Brock at the airport this morning, so Paul Heyman back in the mix, which is great, because I know there was some worry and some fear that perhaps with his WWE contract kind of coming and expiring, that he was not going to be returning, and him being such an integral role, with Brock, an integral part of that character. But nope, have no fear. Paul Heyman will be back with Brock in Atlanta tonight, and it's going to be cool to see where they go for this, because they have the big match coming up with Randy Orton, so obviously they're going to have to really kind of kick the promotion for that match into high gear. It's going to be, the big match is 14 years in the making, but it definitely does seem like it's lacking a bit of that luster, I'd say, or maybe a bit of that excitement that the Brock Lesnar Undertaker rematch had last year. I know last year it was everybody under the sun. Oh, is Undertaker coming back to avenge the streak? And this year, hasn't really gotten there. I think it can get there. I think there's, Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar are both guys most folks that are even casual fans or not even wrestling fans do know, and I'm sure Brock being backup part of the show, every time he's on the show, his appearances are sporadic enough that they do mean a lot. So it'll be cool to see where they go with Brock tonight and moving forward. So that's tonight. One of the other things when looking forward to SummerSlam, though, that I've been thinking about recently is just where Roman Reigns fits into this card, onto the show. And roll your eyes all you want there, folks. But whether or not you want to believe it, or want to accept it, Roman Reigns is a big enough name that it doesn't really seem like unless they're going to make it a three-way, which I would not suggest, it doesn't seem like he really fits into this SummerSlam card. Obviously, you have Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. I'm sure John Cena and AJ Styles will be going on in a one-on-one, kind of that rubber match between those two. You have Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler. I'm sure you'll have Charlotte and Sasha Banks. So it really kind of up in the end, Brock Lesnar and the aforementioned Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton. So it seems like with those 5 matches I just rallied off there, it doesn't seem like maybe there's the biggest match available for Roman Reigns. And kind of looking at the guys available and who's left on the Raw roster, one would think that maybe Chris Jericho could be a name that could go in there and face off with Roman Reigns. To me, his run has been very underrated recently. All the stuff with the scarf, all the drink it in, man, all of that stuff. He's been top-notch recently. I think his work has been some of his best. I think that it would be really cool to see him and Reigns have a match. I know that Jericho, has lost a bunch recently, so I don't think too many people would buy into the fact that Jericho would beat Roman Reigns, but, he's a big enough name that I think the match would mean something. I think that a lot of folks would get, he's a guy that, due to his stature and due to his longevity in WWE, I think fans would be excited for. If not Jericho, you could put Kevin Owens into that role. That's a match I think would be a lot of fun, but again, I'm not sure how many people would buy that, Owens would beat Reigns. And I'm not sure his stuff with Sami Zayn is finished yet. So there's a couple different ways they can go. Certainly Rusev is another option. Rusev has been on a warpath kind of beating guys up the card, leading up to someone. I don't know who it's going to be, but perhaps that guy is Roman Reigns, and that's a heck of a spot for Roman to go against Rusev, a guy who has been on a roll recently. But that said, Reigns made it clear he's still not done with the new world title, the Universal title, at the end of his match with Balor. So I'd be very surprised to sort of see him step back and go for the U.S. title, but hey, John Cena did, so who knows. So, but gun to my head, I'd say Roman Reigns and Chris Jericho at SummerSlam could be the direction that they're going. Who do you think he's going to be going up against? Hit me up on the Twitter at TommyOnTheSpot or at Daily_Spotlight. You could also leave a comment in the comment section below. Who is Roman Reigns going to be facing at this year's SummerSlam? Yeah, should be interesting to kind of figure out who that's going to be. And another thing that is interesting, and that was announced last week, another event to the already stacked week of events that are coming right here to New York for SummerSlam week, is the WWE SummerSlam concert, which is all proceeds and will be benefiting the Connor's Cure that WWE does. That's their charity for the youngster Connor McCulloch, who passed away due to child brain cancer, a pediatric brain cancer, a couple of years ago. He was a big Daniel Bryan fan, and WWE has done a great charity to kind of support that cause. And this concert should be a pretty cool little event here. You've got Flo Rida, you've got Jason Derulo. It's not only WWE promoting it, you have iHeartRadio promoting this show, Z100 down here in New York. So a lot of big avenues and a lot of different venues and different things are going to be getting behind this, and it should be a lot of fun. It's going to be on Thursday, the 18th of August, I believe, at 7 p.m. again at the Barclays Center. So now you'll have that concert, you'll have the NXT show, you'll have the SummerSlam, you'll have the meet and greets, you'll have the Raw. It's going to be a crazy week. I'm not necessarily sure I'm even going to be able to get to the concert just because of all the other things going on. But one thing that is cool about that concert is also they're promoting talent, a number of superstars making appearances. So it'll be interesting to see if this is going to be broadcast on the network. I wouldn't be too surprised if it was, and I think that it would be the type of event that would be a nice little addition to the network programming for SummerSlam. In a way, this reminds me of back in the day, if you're a longtime fan like myself, when they had the WrestleMania Rage Party back in 1999 in conjunction with WrestleMania Week. They had a little concert very similar to this, where they had a couple of big names who were popular in music at the time. Isaac Hayes, who was playing Chef on South Park, the Cherry Poppin' Daddies were there, and I think Big Pun was there. And each one of these performances, they'd have like a song or two, and then they'd have a guy come out, a superstar come out, cut a promo promoting his big match at WrestleMania. I think it was the night before WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a lot of fun, and so I guess from a nostalgic aspect, this is a cool little thing they're doing. So anyway, hit me up on the Twitter again, Tommy on the Spot, or at @daily_spotlight. That's the long little kind of line that looks kind of like a dash, but it's a little longer. It's underneath. So in any event, I will be back with you throughout the week. It's time to do it all over again. Raw tonight, SmackDown tomorrow. We'll have you covered right here on the Wrestling Drive and on the dailyspotlight.com.